So we're doing Gone Girl. Wow. Gone Girl. Let's jump into it. You want to describe the film for us
N-
in your
No,
elegant
you.
way?
No, I want to hear yours.
I did the last one in my.
You did them all. I like it. I'm not good at starting out.
You gonna do it, or you want me to do it?
No, you do it.
All right. So Gone Girl. Gone Girl. Let me just start from this point. Let me first find my notes and let me say this. Um, David Fincher is the director of Gone Girl. He's literally one of my favorite directors. Like he did Fight Club, he did The Curious Case of Benjamin Buttons, he did Social Network, he did this movie, he did The Game. He does a lot of he did The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He does a lot of
Oh
dark
my
movies.
god.
And this movie here is probably as dark as you can get. This is a pretty dark movie. Um, it's about the main character's name is it's not David. His name is Nick. Of course, he's a Nick. That right there should tell you something. Nick, really? That does not sound like a faithful husband, Nick. Anyway, so Nick and Amy have a perfect marriage. Uh, for the first 5 years they've been together, and on the fifth anniversary, Amy is setting Nick up to play one of their regular anniversary charades. Only this particular year, this year, she comes up missing. So at first, Nick is kind of tongue in cheek about it all. He's very glib with the police. He's making jokes. He's like cracking because he knows that she's always pulling some kind of crazy shit. You never know with Amy. And things become more serious as the cops find blood in the house and all these clues that lead to there was some foul play. So that allows us as the audience to find out more about their actual relationship. And it's not perfect like any marriage would be perfect. So it's not a perfect relationship. And we find out more that it's quite the opposite. It's very dysfunctional relationship. Nick is broke. Amy has the money. Amy's invested a lot of money into Nick's side projects and toys and things like that. Nick hasn't been faithful. A movie husband cheating on his wife? How could that be? Anyway, Nick hasn't been faithful, which never happens in real life. So then we find out a bit more that I don't want to be a spoiler, dude, but there's a whole lot more going on in Amy's mind, how she's going to get back at Nick for the cheating and other things. So it's a very dark film. It takes you to places where you question yourself and your own probably marriage motives. Like, if this is what it's going to be, what's really going on? A lot of couples probably, not to the level of Nick and Amy, but a lot of couples probably do have some dark secrets in their marriage that they don't want to ever come out. And this movie, I think, it's interesting because it's about two things, in my opinion. One, it's about the pact that you make with your wife, your spouse, your lover, that these dark secrets never come out. Between the two of you, you know it happened, you know who was responsible for what part of it, but between the two of you, you make a pact not to let the world know too much about what goes on behind your closed doors. That's the one thing. The bigger movie, in my opinion, is about media, because what happens in this film is as these skeleton bones start to come out of the closet, the media starts to play a bigger part in their relationship than their actual relationship. So things are starting to get done because they want to make a good appearance on a show, or they want to make it seem like they've gotten back together for the sake of the media. And although this movie came out quite a while ago, we're seeing today the effects of social media and the damages of social media on people's lives. I think it's a very, very, very true tale about how the media does influence a whole lot of what we do. And David Fincher, like I said, is my favorite director, one of my favorites. And the social media, Fight Club. Most of his films have to do with how other people see us and what we're willing to do to shape how they see us, as opposed to what's right and what's wrong. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing. But that's what the movie's about without giving away any true spoilers. I want people to watch it. It's a good movie, in my opinion. But it does go to some places. It's not for everybody, not for most, actually, to be quite honest. But it is what it is. January Ginger, what do you think?
No, I like that. I liked what you said. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's definitely not a date movie. Probably, probably not a first date movie. All right, so let's talk about then. The next question is about the actors. Uh, Ben Affleck, like him, don't love him, but I like him. He's a good actor. Why not? You know, he falls in that category of sure him. Yeah, I get it. The lady that plays the wife is Rosamund Pike. I think she's an Academy Award winning actress. I think maybe Academy nominated. She's very, very good in all the roles I've ever seen her in. She's fabulous. In my opinion, there's no other real standout performances. Nobody really rocked the house. The lady that played the detective, she was kind of interesting, but nothing to write home about. I mean, the script isn't fabulous. It is kind of is what it is. I think this movie is one of those movies you have to be invested in order to sit through to the end of it, because it does get kind of boring, to be quite honest. It's a little too long, and it's a little too. It's like it's got a big punch at the end. It's waiting for you to get, but it takes way too long to get to that punch. Like, really, are we sitting through all this to find out? You know what I mean? What do you think?
It's just too dark. That's not my kind of movie, so it's hard to watch. And then I had to watch it again. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, and I didn't like it the other time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very very dark, very bleak. It's not bleak, but it's very dark. It goes to some dark places for sure, and for no real apparent reason. Like, why do we need to see this couple get exploded the way that they do in their relationship? Like, I mean, there's murder involved. It's kind of a thriller. It's kind of a romantic noir type situation. Like, you're kind of wondering, are they going to fix it and get back together in the end, or are things just so wrong? And then there's a who done it aspect to it. Yeah, there's a lot going on. What about the actors? How'd you feel about Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike?
No, I think they're great actors. I don't. I didn't have any issues with the acting. I suppose I like dark movies. I just don't like the blood. I didn't like the the killing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's again, it's one of those movies that starts off in a different place than it ends, and by the time it ends, you've seen a lot of blood, a lot of murder, a lot of violence. Kind of like Fight Club. Like, I liked Fight Club, um, but I had
Fight
no
Club
idea.
was that with Brad Pitt?
Yeah, Brad Pitt and
That was a fucking weird movie too, and so was Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
yeah, and all of those movies, again, David Fincher, they all went to places that are really they get a little gory, they get a
They're
little
gory. It's gross.
very, very dark. It's like I didn't know I was going to see a horror movie tonight. You know what I'm saying? But I think as a director, I think he does that very well. That's his forte, clearly. He started off in the business. One of his main claims to fame was he did the Aerosmith video, Janie's Got a Gun. And
Oh,
that
really?
time, yeah, at that
He
time,
did that video?
yeah, he was the
So
director of
if
Janie's Got a Gun.
if he did that video, when you listen to the words in Aerosmith, it's I think believe they say they he shoots him in the head, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, the
But he's
dog.
got a bullet hole in his chest. So I don't know how they did that in the video.
Well, there you have it. The end. No, I'm playing. Oh wow, yeah, that's a good observation. I didn't
We
know that.
should you should watch it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, well, there you go. But he okay. Well, that's a whole nother. We'll examine that another time. So, as far as The tone, was it believable? The story, is it believable that, I don't want to give things away, but I don't think it's a believable story. I think it's kind of a bullshit story, really fabricated. Like it wouldn't be something that you would take seriously if a friend told you this story. But then there's serial killer stories out there that are real stories that are just as weird. Like Jamie, what's her name? Jodi Arias, who killed her boyfriend in the shower. I mean, that's weird shit, you know?
What?
But there are those
What?
weird things
Okay.
that happen.
Wait a minute. What? Who?
Remember this girl, Jodi Arias? Jodi Arias stabbed her boyfriend to death in the
In the
shower.
shower?
She found out.
Yeah, but did they find it right away that she did it? It was probably.
No, no,
Oh,
she
they
made up a
didn't?
story, and this couple was involved in like
Oh,
kind of having like a polyamorous thing going on, or he wanted to introduce
okay.
a polyamorous situation, and she was cool with it, but then it got a little too weird for her, and so then she ended up just killing him, just stabbing him.
Oh,
But
okay. So I guess it's believable then, right? Just
see that
just
story,
fancier stuff?
that is believable. But the thing about Gone Girl's story, it gets to be a little not believable in my opinion. Like this girl Amy, she's wealthy, she doesn't really have a reason to go through all this shit that she does. She's wealthy, she could just leave, she could just take off, she could just, there's a lot of other options that make more sense than what she does in this movie to get back at her husband when she's
Oh,
got all of her.
right, but I think that if you thought of it as a woman who's been, she doesn't think very highly of herself, I suppose, and she beats herself up, so she wants to murder that side of her as well. So her best bet is to get revenge instead of trying to walk away from it, I think. That's why
Yeah, and
that's dark. That's the dark part.
that's a great point that you bring up. Now I was curious, did you feel like Amy would even be attracted to Nick? Like a girl like Amy, she met all these goals in her life. Like she was an author and she had
Right?
money set aside. She's obviously a very meticulous, planned out person. Why would she even like Nick? I don't understand why she would be interested in Nick.
Um, okay, so remember that they were trying to give this, um, perception of themselves as being someone different, and so that they were okay, that's what she wanted. She wanted to form somebody, and they wanted to always, stick to the rules of how a marriage was supposed to be, and it wasn't supposed to be natural. I don't think any of them thought it was natural. She didn't. So I
Mhm.
think that's why she's kinda messed up in the mind too. So as far as her being attracted to him, I don't know, why not,
Mm. Mm.
right?
Interesting. What do you think about the media aspect? Because I thought it turned into about two-thirds into the movie, it turned into less about the story about the husband and the wife and more about the story of how to manipulate the media to get your story across. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, that was really good. I liked that. I forgot about that. They, it was just a side of the story that was not really accurate, but it was absolutely believable.
Hmm.
And, um, and so since people can't go and figure out really what's going on and they rely on the TV, then it becomes the truth, right? Because it has access to the world now, and obviously no one at that level is ever going to lie to you, right?
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. Which was the irony of it. Yeah, exactly. Because here you had a story about the husband's lying to the wife is lying to the husband, and the two of them are living a lie in front of the cameras because it's the easiest way out of somebody going to jail for something that they did for real or somebody getting in more trouble than they did. I mean, and even to the parents, like they have a lie working with the parents. Like she has a relationship with the parents, they see her one way, they see the husband's relationship different, and then the two of them are pretending, to have this relationship, even though they're hating each other in private. They're pretending to keep this facade going for the parents, and I thought that was an interesting thing. Um,
Yeah.
would you recommend this movie?
I guess it depends on the person. So sure, and then absolutely not to others.
Yeah, so 50-50.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I guess
2080?
I don't know.
595? What's the ratio?
Well, I don't know. I'd have
Negative
to talk to
6?
people. I don't know the ratio.
All right. Well, according to January Ginger, some people are going to get to see this movie, some people are not. Final thoughts. Scale of 1 to 5. What would you give it?
Well, I didn't like it, but so 0.
Damn,
Yeah,
zero,
I didn't like it.
zero. You guys, Dave, Ben, Rosamond, zero. I actually, like I said, I liked it. I thought it was a strange film. I like the director and I like the movie. I like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo as well. Um, and I like Fight Club and I like Social Network and I like The Game. I like David Fincher's movies, although going into them, I do expect that I'm going to get taken to a dark territory. Last thing I want to say about this movie, too, is that like all of David Fincher's movies, he seems to like to be a director that goes to the very last frame. In all of his movies, you're going to see the last scene is going to be phenomenal. There's going to be something like the end of Fight Club, at the end of Seven. The last scene is always going to be the one that you go, damn, you know. So this movie is not any different. This movie ends up again with the last scene being one of those ones where you go, oh, right, 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 right. And he's good at that. Girl with Dragon Tattoo, same thing. Last scene. Social Network, same thing. Last scene. He's a last scene type of guy. I like that style in him, and I hope he continues doing that. He's a great, great director. I would give it a, because of the dark elements, it can't be a 5 movie, but I definitely think it's a 3 movie. It's only 3 just because some of it is so not believable. Like it's so not believable that it's really hard to get caught up in the story because
You're so funny. You say that about all of the movies.
yeah, because I want to believe what I'm watching. Like I want to get caught up. Like when I watch Goodfellas, I'm caught up. I believe it. I believe what I'm seeing. When I see The Godfather, I believe what I'm seeing. But this movie, like they said, there's certain elements that, without giving them away, you go, really, really? How do they get on national television? They just can get on national television. Oh, speaking of which, before we go by, speaking of actors, Tyler Perry's in this movie. Tyler Perry plays an
Yeah.
attorney. I thought he was great. I think it was the best Tyler Perry male performance I've ever seen outside of his Medea movies. I mean, I don't like his Medea movies. They're okay. But him acting as this lawyer was, to me, the best he's ever been. Like, he was really good as the lawyer. But that's my 2 cents. Okay, so January Ginger gives it a 0. Y'all get a whopping 0, a zilch from January. And I give you a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5. I think it could have been beefed up a bit. Could have been a little bit better writing, a little bit better, something's missing from there. And that's what's up. All right, it's the Uncut Movie Review. We'll see you guys next week with another movie that you probably love and we probably hate. That's how it works. All right. Bye-bye, y'all. Great. You're always,
Okay.
yeah.